Hey you guys, it's Haley and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be coming at ya with another makeup tutorial. This one, however, is a lot simpler, but we amped up the drama in the lip. There's no glitter, no glitz, no glam. It's all completely matte eyeshadow, and it is a completely drugstore makeup look. Props to myself. Every single product that I used here is from the drugstore. I'm here for it. We're all here for it. Yeah, I just think it's so beautiful. It's such a nice alternative if you're a girl that's not into all the jazz. This is so stunning, and it still leaves a statement when you're out at a party, at home, anytime in the holiday. Dark lips just scream fall, scream winter to me. So I am into it. I hope you are too. Like I always say, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. It's free, it's easy. We'll all be friends. I'm excited. If you guys are curious to see how I achieved this makeup look, then please go ahead and keep watching. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I tried to film this a few days ago, and my boyfriend called and was like, I'm hungry, and made me leave immediately, so it just went to trash. And so here I am. I have to redo it. So if this video sucks, you can blame him. Full permission, go ahead. I just moisturized the living daylight out of my skin because with this kind of makeup look that I'm going for, I really want it to be entirely skin focused. And like I said, I am keeping this as drugstore affordable as possible. I have everything out in front of me, and I'm pretty sure just about everything is from the drugstore. So we're off to a great start. I'm just going to add a little bit of Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser in like this area right here, just because sometimes I tend to get a little bit of pores just like in this area. All right, I zoomed you guys in just a little bit. I'm gonna try and get my hair out of my face. For foundation from the drugstore, you guys, if you watch my channel, you already know what I'm gonna say, and it is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. Absolutely love this foundation. It is so healthy looking, luminous. Honestly, it's one of my absolute all-time favorite drugstore foundations, and it's gonna be especially great for this kind of tutorial. I have two different shades right here that I'm gonna be mixing. One's too dark and one is slightly too light, 205 and 202. So when I mix them together, it creates a pretty good match. And I'm also gonna be applying it with a sponge. That's just going to help emphasize the natural, glowing, healthy dewiness of the foundation. So of course it's not damp, so let me go damp that really quick. Okay, got a damp sponge now, so let us mix these two shades together and apply. Honestly, that foundation does a pretty good job with one layer, but if there are areas that you feel that you need a little bit more coverage, feel free to go back in with a light second layer. This foundation builds really nicely. I never find that it applies weird or cakes up, so I'm just gonna add a tiny bit more in kind of like my cheek area where I will notice that I get redness peeking through first. And make sure you blend down your neck just in case you don't match your foundation color. We will move on to concealer. So I'm actually gonna use a combination of two different concealers, and they happen to be two of my all-time favorite drugstore concealers, and they are both, ironically enough, from Maybelline. And one is the Instant Age Rewind, and the other one is the Maybelline Fit Me. So I have the Fit Me in the shade 15 Fair, and I have my Instant Age Rewind in Neutralizer. I like to kind of use them both in tandem, and it just gives me a really nice coverage underneath the eye with a really good concealed look, as well as apply a little bit to my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, and on my chin. And I will tap all that in with my sponge as well. So now we're going to set the face a little bit with powders, especially the under eye. I never go a day and a half without setting my under eyes because it will crease. I have two recommendations for you. My all-time favorite recommendation would be the RCMA No Color Powder. This will not be news to you if you know me. It's not something you can get from the drugstore, but it is extremely affordable and you can get it online. My second best bet would be from Rimmel. Their Stay Matte Powder in the translucent or transparent shade is also a really nice powder. Rimmel has really nice powders, so if you're looking for something really fast, pick this up. It does great things, but for the sake of this, I'm going to actually use my RCMA No Color Powder. I'm also going to apply it with a damp sponge just because it's going to eliminate as much cakiness as possible and give me the most natural look without it looking overly dry, crusty, you know what I mean? So I will do that right now. any powder left on the sponge, I'm just gonna dab in the other few places that we put the concealer, so chin, nose, and forehead. So powdering your face is optional. I know for some people, they just kind of skip the step. I feel that when I don't powder, especially with a really dewy foundation, sometimes my bronzer will sort of cling or not go on as nicely as I would want it to. So for the sake of this, I'm going to super lightly dust the face with a light setting of powder. And a couple that I would recommend are the Maybelline Fit Me powder. This one's also really great. Otherwise, just go in with the Rimmel transparent powder. And we're still keeping the integrity of a little bit of radiance happening through that foundation. Next, what I will work on is bronzing and contouring. I have a couple options here. There are a lot of low-key good bronzers that I do quite enjoy. One that I have right here in front of me that I'm gonna be using today is another Rimmel product. This is the Rimmel Natural Bronzer. Really great drugstore product. The color's nice. Another one could be the NYC Sunny Bronzer. That's like an OG. A lot of people compare that to the Hoola by Benefit Bronzer. Obviously, Physician Formula Butter Bronzers. And then for contour, honestly, I don't love a lot of contours from the drugstore. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. But one that does stand out to me is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contour Palettes that they have here. There are two shades. This is the cooler toned shade in Dulce de Leche. This powder right here is extremely pigmented and it's more on the cool side of things. So I'm gonna use this as a contour. I feel like I've explained this before, but sometimes I like to contour before I bronze just because I feel as though it leaves me with a less muddy product, especially when I'm using drugstore options. Not to knock any drugstore products at all, but just to ensure that I'm not getting any sort of muddy bronzer, whatever, you know what I'm saying. It's kind of preference, whatever works for you, but that's what I find that works better for me. And then we will go in with bronzer, just taking my Real Techniques bronzing brush. Actually, it's a blush brush, but I use it for bronzer. So we will go in with that Rimmel Natural Bronzer. Now we will go in with blush, and I'm going to use one of my tried and true drugstore blushes. This is by Wet n Wild. It's their Color Icon blush in the shade Apricot in the Middle. I can't emphasize enough how much I really love this blush. It's just a really nice peachy, terracotta-y almost sort of blush tone. It has the tiniest amount of, I don't want to say glitter because it's not glitter, it's almost a sheen. So when you add it to the cheeks, it really adds even more of a healthy glow. I'm going to fill my brows in with, you guys know, I sound like a broken record player, but this is my L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer, and then I will be right back. All right, so we are scooching forward to eyeshadow, and I'm gonna truly keep this as simple as possible. You know, not every girl is into the glitz, the glam, the glitter, the liquid eyeliner, and I totally get it. Dang it, I'm really mad that I wasn't able to finish the video that I did the first time because I wanted you guys to see my initial reaction to this City Mini palette by Maybelline. I was so skeptical of these. I've literally never tried a drugstore eyeshadow that I was truly excited about. Most drugstore eyeshadows, I'm not gonna lie, don't have the greatest pigment. They don't blend well. I was floored by this little palette. I got mine in the Matte About Town palette. So as you can see, it's a completely matte palette. Really nice. You will see when I do this for you. We're gonna take this shade right here, lightly sweep it over the eye. And then I'm gonna take this deeper taupier shade on the same brush and work this more in the crease area or whatever crease that I do have. This is the only City Mini palette that I've tried, so I mean, the rest of them could be really bad, but this one's really good. I'm going to find a slightly smaller fluffy brush and go in with this shade right here. Do the same sort of area, kind of just in this outer corner. That's where I'm gonna focus most of the pigment. Like literally, look at that. I am putting the smallest amount and it is so pigmented. Whenever I say so pigmented, I always think about, seriously, the internet is so harsh. Manny MUA gets dragged for how he's like, so pigmented, so pigmented. Like I literally watched a video about him saying so pigmented for like 2 minutes straight. And I might even work this lighter mauve shade in the crease just to lighten things up, blend things out, or it'll make it even smokier. I am going to connect the lower lash line to the upper lash line with that same kind of deeper brown mauve plum color with a more precise brush and just drag it down in the outer corner on the lower lash line just to connect the two. I'm gonna take the deepest shade right here with a flat shader brush and just lightly line my upper lash line with this just to define it a tiny bit. For the very last shade, I'm gonna use just kind of a more flat brush with that super light shade right here and work that in this inner corner of my eye, just to bring a little bit of light in there. Wow, that is so much more pigmented than I thought. Oh my gosh. I'm very impressed. I'm gonna throw some mascara on. So I saw this is by Maybelline as well. I swear this is not sponsored by Maybelline. I just clearly love so many of their products. This is the Colossal Big Shots base. It's supposed to be like a tinted primer, kind of like a fibrous, supposed to make your lashes longer. I don't know. And I'm just gonna go over that with the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black. That's what I have right here in front of me. It doesn't look half bad. I think that looks pretty good because, you know, my lashes are not that great. So I definitely would say that lash base did give me a little bit of extra oomph. Let's do highlight. So I have two options here sitting in front of me. Obviously you guys have seen my ColourPop Flexitarian Super Shock Cheek, whatever this is. Another one is the Wet n Wild highlight in Boozy Brunch. So I think I'm gonna go in with this one initially at least. So lip, I am very excited for this. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Lash Liquid Catsuit Liquid Lipsticks. These are just really great drugstore options for liquid lipsticks. We are going to do a really dark lip because we went pretty neutral, simple on the eye. If you would be more comfortable doing a nude, by all means do a nude. But I'm just like feeling a more kind of cinnamony, darker, berry brown sort of shade. With these liquid catsuits, I recommend letting it dry down pretty much almost all the way until you put your lips together, just because it'll start to go patchy, or it can cause it to go patchy, especially with a darker shade like this. So let's see how I can do and we'll be back. We survived. And then the final step would be spraying your face with some setting spray. Milani has a Make It Dewy, I'm pretty sure, setting spray that I would probably suggest over this one. This is just to make it last. So let's do it. All right, you guys, so this ends up being the final product. I think this is a great alternative if you're not into all the glitter, liquid eyeliner, the false lashes, etc. Let me know if you guys are here for it. I'm kind of into it. I'm really loving it. I love this lipstick color. I feel like I did say what the shade was, but if I didn't, this is Video Vixen. I really hope you guys enjoyed just a little extra variation of some sort of wintry holiday look. Every single thing was entirely drugstore. Love it. We love to see it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all your support. It means so much to me, and that's it. I will see you very soon in my next one. Bye guys.